This is Fictional Problems, in association with Speculative Fiction Ireland. On today's episode, we'll be discussing how to deal with action on the page. We'll be talking about magic, super science, and healing. We'll explore systemising your magic system, and we'll have a chat about the movie Old Guard. Join us.
And we're back with even more fictional problems.
These fictional problems don't seem to go away, do they?
They don't.
It's like everywhere we look, there's more fictional problems.
Yes, indeed. At some point, we'll have a letter bag of complaints to deal with. But until that comes around, we'll continue.
What is the next fictional problem that we are going to talk about?
So one of the aspects which we will kind of get into detail is how we write. And so this is a personal thing. This is how we've come to our particular function, or how we've done this. So this is not a must do. This is not a should do. This is a can do. So
this is a we did do.
We did do that. We did. So how we deal with action. An old friend of mine, I think, wrote a book on violence in cinema many moons ago, and this is something that is a touchstone for me in the back of my head. As I then looked up things like how different injuries affect different people. As in, you look at how if someone is a gut shot, they're dead. They'll bleed out. Or if someone gets hit to the head, they're going to be concussed. But depending on how long the story, or how long they need to be concussed for, when they should be, say, concussed for the next 2 weeks. Oh no, they'll be fine.
No, because I've seen it in the real world where you can get shot in the ear and be fine.
Yeah, but if you get clubbed in the back of the head,
you don't suffer.
Baseball bat.
Yeah, but the shot in the ear, it was fine.
Sure. But the cinematic depiction of the cut above the ear and the eye, the kind of it looks bloody, but then when it gets cleaned up, it's only as a like tiny little.
The next scene, yeah.
Or frequently the upper arm cut that was depicted so humorously in Galaxy Quest, of having slowly but surely cut off Sigourney Weaver's clothing. There's some injuries which would be inflicted on women, some injuries inflicted on men, and with, I guess, John McClane being inflicted on all injuries that it could possibly be inflicted. So how damage is inflicted and how action is done would be the hopefully the focus, given that we have
we're often very focused on the fictional problems that pop up every now and again.
Yep.
So how we're dealing with action is when I'm writing, dealing with action. Well, first off, it has to be necessary. So it has to
story-wise, okay.
In terms of I'll start wide and maybe get a bit more focused, like I said. It has to serve a purpose. Like there's no point having action or violence for the sake of it. If you're trying to depict particularly an evil character, just having them randomly be violent all the time, that could show that. But after a certain point, it's like, yeah, we know, we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's another family you're turfing out of their homestead, and you're burning their house. Yeah, you've done this 10 times already. I know. You don't need to show the writer every single time the evil person is being evil through their action and through their violence.
And it also becomes peaked. It becomes okay. And you don't want the villain to become boring.
Yeah. And boring and predictable. But so yeah, definitely action has to. Well, if we're taking a broad view of action, is that are you in your mind, are you referring to fight scenes, or are you or actions, any actions taken by a character in a scene?
The fights. So action is description. If you're thinking that broad, then that's everything.
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah. So action would be the fights, the violence, the.
But I would also argue any action it has to be necessary as well.
Sure, yeah.
So if a character is taking any action,
but then every word needs to be. So bring it in a bit. I think you're striking a much too broad.
That's the barn in front of me. Yeah.
Yes. So bring it back in. Bring it back in.
So when depicting fighting between characters, or like, it's for me anyway. When I'm writing, I want to be obviously able to like I'm visualizing the fight, and I suppose taking it back to the TTRPG, everything's happening in 6 seconds. In Dungeons and Dragons, for example, everything's happening in 6-second bursts.
Right.
So that can inspire the writing of an action sequence that you are breaking it down into its component parts like a dance. The different moves that will formulate the entire routine.
Sure.
So I choreographed a sequence that is exciting and entertaining for anyone who's reading it.
Right.
That's kind of the goal. If we look at it that way, you want this sequence to not only serve a purpose in the story, but possibly demonstrate skills, either fighting skills or skills of resilience, or someone that can get beaten into an inch of their life can go on or can recover.
Sure.
Or possible after the fact healing skills of certain other characters.
Sure, so giving opportunities. Sure, yeah.
It will, any particular fight can always provide all those kind of opportunities for character development, story development, plot development.
Right.
So first off,
can I actually push back at 1 second? So are you actually building from say if you're building from a 6 second idea, not
all the time,
but are you then insisting everyone gets a go? So
no.
So how is it? So is it the case that if a character hasn't been addressed in a while, because if they're part of the combat, then they have to be doing something.
Yeah, there has to be a reason for them to be there.
Yeah, or if a fight has started, then the reason for them being there is that they are there. So they have to either run away from the fight or engage with the fight.
Yeah, and no, I wouldn't hold so rigidly to, oh well, these 5 people are in the room, therefore these 5 people. Well, everyone will probably do something. Not everyone's going to start pulling blades and start hacking and slashing away at each other if it doesn't make narrative sense. Like if there's a particular cowardly character that can't fight, so their actions are different.
But that essentially is that they have, just in the way that the healer has an opportunity later on to heal, the coward, the Samwise from Samwise of Fire, has an opportunity to restate his premise of I'm a cowardly git,
or an opportunity to go against.
Oh, absolutely, yes. But from this point of view, I'm asking the characters that are having less action. That if it's the case that you have your primary knight and the antagonist going at one another, then they have, and say she's protecting 2 or 3 other characters, or there's 2 or 3 other characters in that room. Is it the case that because I'm basically what I'm just in setting up an honorable duel, in which case those 3 characters are doing nothing.
Yeah,
and that's right, that they're doing nothing
as they're meant to do.
Exactly
that, in the context of the scene that you're trying to portray. Yeah.
Yes. So in those situations, around. But if you had, say, a hurly-burly brawl in the middle of a bar,
a battle,
or even in a battle, yes. So because one I guess a failure that we've seen in, say, that has become a common trope in fighting, in, say, to move away from A Song of Ice and Fire and go to the TV show The Game of Thrones, is that people that in the long night, that really terrible fight at the end,
there's poor tactics all across. Like
poor tactics, yes, but and tactics alone is a point we can return to.
Yeah.
But the idea of there's characters who were swamped, we're going to die, and they survived by being off screen for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Then, it's like, oh my God, Jon Snow is being covered by, or sorry, Sam's being covered by zombies. It's like, oh, he's stabbing away. Oh my God, he can't out. Cut. 10 minutes later, he's walking through the castle.
He's like, oh, glad I stabbed all those zombies. Oh, no one saw that.
Oh shit.
The best thing I ever did, and no one was around.
Yeah, like, didn't you see? I suddenly became Azor Ahai and stabbed everyone. I am the prince to his promise.
You didn't see that?
No. Okay,
no. You're going to treat me like
feck off,
Sam.
So that's the idea of because from my own position, when I'm building a fight, as you say, they should only happen when is required.
Yeah.
They should only, saying that is even a conversation is a battle, or a conversation, or a debate, or whether it be with words or magical spells or gunfire, conflict is there. And I have no problem. I'm not squeamish about blood or harming my characters. I'm not George R. R. Martin, but I'll happily kill off people left, right, and center if need be, or harm them as required. The ensuring that I'm not overloading the scenes with people who need to do something.
Yeah,
that when people are doing things or people are in a scene that they are active, that I will keep an eye on that person who hasn't done anything in a while, and I'll make reference to them.
Yeah, well, there's a way to do that. I know certain battle scenes that I have depicted. It would be the case of I might even start with one particular one-on-one conflict.
Sure.
And one of the characters knocks the other one off a wall, and then that other character falls to the ground where another part of the battle is going on.
Yeah.
So it's like following. It's like this one shot camera angle. Just is like following the defeated character down to another battle. So it's drawn the reader down, and then other action is going on there, and things might go one way or the other, or but it might lead on to, well, okay, now we're in a wider area where there's more people. Now we're trying to track a few different groups,
but you're not,
or a unit that are working together to try and resist.
Yes, but in that the characters become a unit. So you're talking about these guys all doing the same thing.
Yeah.
While the character who made that initial push is now off scene.
For example, yeah,
they can be running down. So they're missing from, to use the game example, they're missing from the rounds of combat because they're trying to run down to get back in. It's like the 22-second scene in the first Avengers movie where Black Widow gets onto the skiff, and then Iron Man flies on past, goes down, beams into Captain America's shield, then that passes up to Hawkeye, who fires an arrow that then goes down. Then knocks.
Glad you remember all this. Then I don't remember.
Then Iron Man launches again, tags to Hawkeye. Hawkeye fires an arrow that hits.
It's grabbed by Loki.
This is Loki's already down. That hits a thing, knocks the skiff down onto onto one of those big flying lizard things. It's where Thor and Hulk are fighting. It then crashes into Grand Central Station, where Hulk one punches
brilliant
Thor off the scene.
Lovely bit of character bit of film
where you all of them are a nice connection for that one moment. It's like the moment in Invincibles. Incredibles, where it's only like 15 seconds long, but it's one moment where all of them use their powers at the same time. Where the kid throws up a force shield to block bullets. The mother does a kind of punch kick at the same time. That it's just, and the speed kid throws up a smoke screen, or a dirt screen, I guess. Lovely moments where they're all kind of working together. And those are wonderful depictions of, because that's action. That's a cartoon action. There's no real blood in that or viscera. It's like it's they're nice. It's not just we're hitting for violence.
Yeah.
This is
Now, I mean, I have been told from Nightingale Gara definitely that, oh, geez, it's a bit bloody, and it's
which and I think
it's a
rightly
bit,
so.
yeah, it's a bit grim, and it's a bit bloody at times, and there's a lot of violence. I was like, I guess, yeah. I mean, I wasn't going out of my way to be overly gratuitous, though.
Right.
Like, definitely not. I was trying to give a sense of like immediate impending danger. There's serious consequences for that person who is pointing a sword at that other person. Is like there's life and death that is happening right now.
Yeah,
it's to give that urgency. It's to give that kind of sense of, ooh, and then say when a hit comes in, it's like, yeah, this is again, it's realism, and it's something that makes sense. If someone gets hit even in the arm with a sword, that is sharp, that has been crafted for war and to kill, as opposed to some ornament on the wall. If that's going to do damage, it's going to, and it's seriously going to impair the movements and operation of that arm.
Yeah.
In that moment. So it's the consequences of the actions are as important as the action itself. Because again, it's the reason for the action. You need reason for everything you write, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're writing action, you need a reason for the action, and that can be anything that is forming part of the story, as in there's a bridge they need to cross, there's someone blocking them, there's a particular sequence of actions that they will have to take in order to get over the other side of the bridge.
Yeah.
This is to escape or whatever. So there has to be a reason and motivation for the action, and there has to be consequences for what occurs during the action as well.
Yeah.
So, and again, that's trying to bring in a sense of, like, there's a particularly, in Nightingale Gara, there's a short time frame in the overall narrative. So the entire novel spans a day and a half, which, a lot of fantasy books that I've read is like, yes, they're going on an adventure, and it's like, okay, they get injured on day 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, next time we see them, it's day 8. Everyone's fine.
18, I see.
18, sorry, yeah, unless time travel. Yeah, day 18, everyone's fine. Everyone's moving along. Oh, we shook that off, you know, and but with such a compressed time frame in the narrative, and there's something it's how I designed it. It's what I wanted it to be. It's a case of, there's a constant sense of urgency. There's a constant sense of threat. There's the characters are up against a superior foe. They've no time to breathe. They've no time to rest. The injuries will be carried, and they will have to deal with those consequences of their injuries.
Yep.
And everything that's happening to them they don't get a chance to recover.
Yes.
And that's specifically what I wanted to include in this particular narrative. I wanted it short. I wanted that to be the case. So the reader is coming along, and it's almost like, if you start your clock, if you read this book over the same length of time that the book actually takes place, it's like, you're there in it. If it takes you a day and a half to read this book, fair play. But if it takes you a day and a half to read it, then it's, you're almost walking in lockstep with the characters for every real time minute that is occurring in the book. Is like you're there. And I wanted to kind of see if I could create something like that. Sure.
Yeah. Actually, one thing I want to slightly push back on, would it be more that the grounded nature of the kind of old world fantasy of your novel, in that that there's no super science, there's no magic, there's no anything else. So is it a poor question to say that, or observation to say that the action, the violence, is taking a certain place, not universally, because I think we were talking before about the how you deal with etymology. I'm not place names now.
Yeah.
There is a lush story life beyond the current narrative.
Yeah.
The world building, that the how just the peasants interact with one another, about telling stories within themselves is does take a place some of the kind of of what would consider the magic part of things, because they can say they believe in it,
Yeah.
But whether or not they believe in it is another thing. We know that it's a fiction, or that they are believing in a fiction if they believe in this god or this ancient warlord that could do this, that, and the other.
So that's kind of a trick as well, though. I have to say it was a trick, because any reader of a fantasy book isn't going to be a devotee of the god that's mentioned in that book. So they're automatically going to be atheistically inclined towards whatever gods in the book.
Yeah.
So if it's a fantasy book and there's a god mentioned, no one's going to go, oh, I wonder if that's real.
Right.
No one is thinking that.
Yeah.
But so as the author, I'm coming to it like that, as like there's an atheistic approach to the writing, that I'm of the opinion as I'm writing, I'm saying none of this is actually true. It's all just mythology.
Yeah.
But the characters are not aware of my knowledge.
Sure.
Because that would be bad.
Yeah. That was saying that is part of that mythology is part of what would be in the magic section, I guess, of a more fantastical book. And so the rest of it is action. So while I also was reference the new book, which I can't.
That's fine. You can reference it.
No, I can't. This is spoilers. How you depict the action, or how you depict the violence. Am I right in my assertion that it is taking the place of the magic, the super science, that's there's a fundamental aspect to it that must happen?
Yeah,
or that is fundamentally core, because you could have had a situation where
they all just talk to each other, talk it out.
Well, you have your opening fight, and that's it, and you could spend the rest of the time, because you will have characters, and we've talked about them kind of off pod, where you have characters who are going to be doing non-violent things, and their entire focus is going to be non-violent, and that's going to be central to their character. And even things like what I'll call one-shot kills, where someone, it's not an action scene, but it's just they're dead.
Yeah.
Then that serves the story. As I say, absolutely, the action should serve the story. So in a scene where someone is just one-shotted, there is no need to have a massive burly brawl of 20 guys. It just serves this thing that X happened because of Y.
Yeah.
Is it that the violence that you do include is the replacement for the magic, the super science?
I wouldn't. No, not as a replacement. Because I believe, like any fantasy story that has those elements also has the fighting. It might have the spells and the dragons and the things like that, but it also has the swords crossing, and it has the, the knights jousting or charging, or it has those, as I suppose, mundane combat.
Sure.
Definitely has a lot of mundane combat in a lot of the fantasy stories. So I don't think it's a replacement, but it's kind of, I suppose, the only option.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, we're fighting. I can't rely on spells because magic doesn't exist.
Sure.
I can't rely on the power of prayer because that's not
a thing
in the world. That, even though I do depict a character that in the first book that believes it is. He believes he's calling down the power of the god to alter reality. And, his boat gets smashed to pieces and he sinks and he dies and horribly screaming in flames. But
ironic.
Yeah. But those aren't like different skill sets that are available to choose from as you're starting out in the world.
I take your point.
Yeah. You can choose different types of fighting or styles, or, as would be grounded in the real world. But
Yeah, I guess as with the example, the difference between the burly that you can get the same end, because if the end result, the reason that all the action needs is for X character to be dead, then you can have it being a shiv in the night, or it can be
doesn't matter.
The 20 guys all beating the crap out of each other, and he accidentally gets knocked over and cracks his head. Okay, he's dead. So yeah, so the how your action, how your violence is being implemented, it would be would well, yeah. So I guess I would be wrong in my assertion that it would be a replacement. So awesome.
Yeah, definitely not a replacement. It's like any particular, I suppose, tool in the tool belt is a case of, well, this conflict needs to be resolved, and and it has to be, it's exciting as well. These action parts of your story. Well, you wouldn't want to read a book that was just nothing but action.
That's
and I'm sure they've been written where it's just go, action. Like just
it would be
reminds me of like Black Hawk Down, for example, where it is just go.
Oh sure, but and there's brief quiet moments, but absolutely, but there would be the narratives which are just go. I think Warfare, the Alex Garland book starts off, or say the Alex Garland movie. That's visceral.
Yeah,
it's a I was about to say a lovely movie, but it's I would recommend it.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's well made.
Absolutely,
well depicted, I think.
Oh yeah, but it's I guess the difference between the grounded violence of your kind of novel and the thing is everything I write has some sort of supernatural aspect to it, supernatural or super science, so that you can have, as you say, the character taking a bad hit one day and then functional next because of cybernetics, spells, whatever.
Fill in the blank.
Whatever the thing is.
The healing module.
Yes, but
that we just invented.
But in that way, it is in one sense I've introduced it, so I know it's there, which means that I either have to kill them off or I have to put them in a certain way that either that healing factor can't assist, won't assist, or has been some way negated.
Yeah.
In the sort of grounded violence, there is a ticking clock.
Yeah.
In that, as you say, if someone takes a significant wound, they're going to be gone for. Is it that you are more comfortable, or that you will position a fight before you know they're going on a long journey? like say they take a hit to the arm, that their arm is going to be in a sling for, it's going to take them 2 weeks to recover.
Yeah.
Narratively, that person, they're a core fighter.
So, I get you. What's the, say, the imagined max level of damage that this character can still take and be still part of the story when it takes up?
Essentially, so let's see. I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but Thorn has lost the nails or the fingers. Yeah. Are they?
That has been mentioned to me, like people reading that, and they were like cringing.
Yeah, but are they growing back?
Well, yeah, probably about
they haven't been taken out by the root. But again, that's going to take an age for them to grow back, and for to become
probably 4 months.
But even to become, say, or actually, I don't know the biology of the kukri. So it could be the case that in 4 months they are now combat usable again.
Yeah.
I don't know if that, you probably know better, you should know better than that how long this particular narrative will take. Is it the case that after book 3, there's going to be a time jump so that they are going to have a reset, that sort of thing? So that's the kind of what I'm asking, that because you are subject to medieval levels of medical care,
fantasy realm medieval levels of medical care.
Yes, but that then introduced an element of magic.
Not necessarily. It could be just particular botany knowledge, particular plants that grow, fauna, flora, that the knowledge is used. It's not magic.
Oh no, but
But
unless it has a normal application, then it becomes preternatural.
yeah, no, but these things would be known, like a dandelion tea that helps, cure the bowel problems.
Yeah,
or
but you're not
it's,
going to put a poultice on a massive gash wound and have it heal in 2 days.
no,
Yeah, so that's the thing.
no,
There's no preternatural stuff. It's that they're still limited by the things that can be created, I guess, in a medieval setting.
Well, even in the first few chapters of Nightingale Gara, there's this concoction that Thorne puts together to help heal.
Yes, but
someone.
But what is the impact of that?
Well, it's kind of so this is something that he takes to traveling with these ingredients,
right?
Because he's had harsh experiences without them. So he is aware that, okay, these particular roots and these herbs with this particular seed, once mixed and crushed and all the rest in water, will have this curative kind of property.
That was my question was, what was the impact? Not what were the bits being brought in, is that impact having a greater than effect? So will it heal a broken bone in half the time?
It will. Yeah, it will like lessen fevers and things like that, lessen illnesses.
Okay, so it's a
cure headaches.
So it's over the counter
painkiller kind of. Yeah,
so it's
kind of a painkiller, strong painkiller that he's able to.
Right. So it has no demonstrable.
No, it doesn't grow back fingers or.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So we're still dealing with pharmacological solutions rather than.
So
pharmacological solutions.
Exactly. There's I suppose from a biology perspective, they're like and again all about the science. So once science can be applied to these situations, I'm happy enough. So if there's a biological, chemical, biochemical, concoction or combination of real world items, mundane items that when put together can have this exaggerated, perhaps, effect,
right?
Exaggerated healing effect than this world knows, because some of the fauna and flora that are used aren't of this world. So you can't get, say, one of the ingredients is the seed of a flame plume tree. There's no such tree.
Are of this country or of this world?
They're not of the real world. So we can't make that comparison. So the flame plume tree seed that Thorne uses is like the catalyst that.
Sure. So, but that would be.
No one can speak to those properties.
But it is equivalent to saying it's ibuprofen.
Yeah.
So it's you're applying what was the phrase I wanted to use, that there's you're granting a smidge of knowledge of essentially, but you are framing it in a fantasy method that is still not having, and in a good way, is not having a preternatural effect.
No, but
is within the world itself would be considered special.
Yeah.
No, that's not correct. It was the question goes back to that you still only have a character with only X amount of resource, as in their resource being limited. Their stamina. How many armies do they have? Well, they have only 2. Yeah. But they're not getting a third.
2 leggies and 2 armies.
Yes. Where's your armies? In my sleeveys. They are not getting a third arm. They're not getting a finger back. So when in Game of Thrones, when a hand is chopped off, that has a massive impact on say Jaime Lannister's character. That there is, at no point is he going to have a have hand healed back. It's just not on the cards. Yeah. So if that same happened to Rosalind, for example, then that would have she would be a massive impact on her, character. So you only have X amount of stuff of living
close calls,
essentially. So
yeah. Well, that'll all go back down to like how skillful she's written, as in not how skillful was the writing, but how skillful the actual character is supposed to be.
Sure, absolutely.
So that'll come down to not always winning.
Yeah.
And what happens when she loses.
Yeah, I'm trying to actually remember a book. I think it was by Joe Abercrombie. I think it was Best Served Cold. I was recommended by a colleague of mine that essentially the character. It's like the way it was described was a Kill Bill idea that this character was a powerful general, but the leader that she followed thought she was getting too big for her britches, so he attempted to kill her, and everyone knew she knew. So then she put the team together and hunts him down. But she spends the entire book addicted to pain meds, and that the person who put her back together again did a good enough job from a medieval setting. I don't think there's any magic in it at all. I can't remember. There's as in the I guess one of the wizard quote unquote characters was a poisoner. So he was both skillful. He was conniving, mysterious, and suddenly you had poison in you. So there was a lot of there was some approaching preternatural stuff, but never actually got there.
Yeah.
But in that, she was just destroyed from the entire time. So it was that in that you could see why she had to draft in all these other people, because she started being this strong warrior, and it's like, no, she is a harrowed version of her former self.
So the consequences.
Yeah, that's it. Because while sci-fi and fantasies do have they're not consequence free. Like one of the stories I was recently thinking about.
Jean-Luc got stabbed in the heart and was pretty much shook it off.
Yeah, well, we're not talking about what happened with that character, except for the last season, which was great. I was going back over some old stuff, talking about kind of failures and whatnot. I wrote a introduction to one story where a sci-fi where a ship's avatar was left on a planet. The ship's avatar, Andromeda, would be a good touchstone for this culture novels. So you have a humanoid, basically a humanoid person, I guess, who is a representative of the giant starship. They share the AI essentially with the core of the vessel, but they have a slightly different. They can have a slightly different life because they have got their body is a humanoid versus the ship's body. And it starts off with a massive fight in outer space. She is sent down to the planet to help with that defenses, and she knows that the captain and her own ship's body is keeping secrets from her, and they get destroyed in outer space. I have this nice big battle. So, but she then loses out. So she's now a super advanced android on a not massively technological world, and then she has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know what's happened because they denied her information. So they basically cut off certain access. So she ends up then it's like that's the cold open, and 6 months later she is running crime because she is vastly more complicated and more sophisticated than any of the computer systems on the planet.
Okay.
But she's also hiding from the invading force that have come down, and tanks are in the streets, sort of thing. So
that seems like just a logical progression. It's like, I need protection. Protection. I can buy protection with money. I can get money through crime.
Yeah.
I'll just be in charge of all the crime.
Yeah.
See, that's Android thinking.
Well, yeah. So that's where the kind of story stopped, because I didn't have anything else to go. I didn't. I could go back to it, and I imagine I might, but I've got too many other stories that I want to write. But that's where the idea that there is losses that can be suffered. I think that maybe the losses suffered in a grounded story are more visceral, because you're not losing the super powerful thing. You're not
losing an eye, perhaps.
Yes, and that's something that, as your readers have mentioned, with Thorne losing his fingernails.
Yeah,
that is something that
felt that when I was like, I wrote that. Well, then I think
sure, yeah, absolutely.
If someone's going, oh,
yes, but they're having that reaction. If a character loses a powerful wand, it's like, oh, the family wand. but it can still have depending on how it's written. If this has been the thing that the character has been longing after for years, that it was passed down from mother to father, from grandmother to grandfather, to grandfather to father, to onto them, that it was such an important thing, and now they've lost it. Then that's a difference than just I lost a wand. And the thing is, you can flip it and go, his nails are going to grow back. That wand is never coming back.
Yeah.
The android is never going to get a ship's body again. So, more unlikely to get one. Or if that happens, what will change for her? One thing I want to kind of mention as kind of as my want is that things I don't like. There was a so this is a graphic novel series that was turned into a movie that's turned into a new movie. There's going to be a second one soon. Old Guard.
Yes, I'm aware of this.
So this is basically
immortal warriors living down through the ages like Highlander.
Yeah, it's a bad riff on Highlander.
Yeah.
There was some questionable world building aspects, including that none of them knew when their immortality was going to end.
Yeah.
So just one day end. So they would walk into a gunfight.
And that would be their last.
It could be that they were shown again in the first kind of big fight. They were shown walking into a fight and just basically tanking all this gunfire, dropping to their knees, falling down, and then getting back up again. That moment, I would be questioning the reasoning behind. If I was immortal, would I ever do that?
No, you wouldn't. Why would you be seeking out gunfights?
Yeah,
if you knew one of them could be your last.
Yeah, it would just be, even if it was the case of I get a foreshadowing or a dream or something. I go, okay, I'm no longer doing it.
Yeah.
I know that my time is coming
my retirement.
Yeah, and it's not even that this person gets solid 200 years or 200 revivals, or there's a lack of. It is a question that we could ask in a different frameworks from, say, soft and hard magic systems.
Yeah,
but I would always be the case that you have to systematize that. Again, personal position. This is so saying I would always systematize your magic system, and this is perhaps why I think TTRPGs they can
help with that.
Yeah, because so they happily construct, or if they're the good ones, construct this leads to this, leads to this, leads to this power, leads to this power, leads to this power.
Sure.
This power is stronger than this power. This is our reasoning behind it. Oh no, I follow that. So having immortals who can just suddenly drop dead, or suddenly not being immortal for no provided reason, the author may know. They need
to show something.
But the author may know. But the fact that the characters don't, and the characters are aware of this fact.
Yeah.
That is
because if you are immortal and you discover that, hang on, there's one shot that you won't get up from.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to do research into that until you do know. If you know that this is something that happens, then you're going to spend time, even spend 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, 100 years figuring out what the rules are. So saying the characters don't know is saying that they never tried to figure it out, which is kind of saying the characters are stupid.
Or they are, or if the reason is provided at some point, yes, because if the reason is pretty straightforward, like the more complex the reason is, seem more understood that the people haven't figured it out yet. That's kind of. But if it's these kind of stories tend to go for the easiest answer, so they can explain to the lowest common denominator.
But you would if the world of Old Guard was more realistic, you would have the Old Guard immortal researcher guy or girl, who was like, I have all these records. I know why this happens because I have studied this for 100 or 200 years. Mm. I know. So that's what I mean. There's no option where the characters shouldn't know why this is happening.
Yeah.
If they're aware it does happen, they should also automatically, in world, if it starts, say today, they should automatically know not only that it happens, but why it happens.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't they have tried to figure this out unless they were just hoping that they were going to die and not really care at what point?
Yeah. Also, that you have characters who that they. And I'm trying to remember how Theon realizes that she has lost her immortality, and they have to because if there's a case that the next person is triggered, and that the immortality is passed to another person, then they can walk away. That could be enough for them to walk away. But then, if they know that it's again a poor statement of world building is if you get that vision. If you get the feeling of my immortality is gone, then walk the fuck away.
Yeah.
Enjoy the rest of your life. You take the money that you've earned in your 200 years of Highlander life, and just have retirement.
Well, okay. The only thing I would say to counter that is that's not always an option, especially in mid story, stakes have been raised. It's demonstrating a more heroic side that now they say, Superman's not brave because he knows nothing can kill him.
Yeah.
It's when he loses his powers and he still steps up to do the right thing.
Yeah.
That's when he's being brave. So you could say this is in that moment, the character should walk away, but they probably couldn't in the narrative.
But actually this is the reason. So that background is not the reason why I introduced I just want to give a précis on the lore. Theon's character, knowing that she is now mortal, walks into fights. Here's the thing. So she's the thing is, even if you remove the immortality part, she still regenerates. Sorry, while she was immortal, she would regenerate, right?
Yeah.
So she spent 1,000 years fighting. Her training, her initial training as a Sumerian warlord was normal, as in you use a shield, you wear armor.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 years, she would have been reckless. She would simply not care about that thing hitting her arm because it's going to grow back.
It's going to grow back, yeah.
So
you would take on a more aggressive style of fighting, rather than defensive. That's for sure.
And even if it was a case that she would say gravitate towards, even if it was simple, gravitate towards no shield, two weapons, as in say a dual wielding form, right? As soon as she walks into a fight, post immortality, she's no longer regenerating. She's no longer immortal.
That's time you armor up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also means that the question of whether or not you can walk away or not you should walk away to become the researcher guy. They could have legions of, every time a immortal taps out or times out, essentially. Okay, become a researcher. Just that's what you have.
Figure it out. What happened to you?
There is one of many mansions we have in the middle of English countryside. Take it. Enjoy your life, as long as the East Wing can be Bacchanalia to the nth degree, as long as the West Wing is always research, and we can go there and we can participate, and we can, and you become our oracle, you become our point of contact. You can help us out until, death ultimately comes to you. That's what, and and it's like, well, then the story doesn't happen. Then the story shouldn't fucking happen.
It shouldn't happen that way. It should be bolstered. That completely agree. That would give the whole world a sense of, oh, well, they're thinking about this. They're smart.
Yes,
they're not just showing up on a screen for 2 hours and then heading off somewhere. It's it's like when you start watching this, you are watching the world that's created around those characters as well.
Yeah,
you were watching the thousands of years before you first see this character.
Yeah.
All wrapped into what would they be thinking? What would a normal human being think in that situation? how would they be different? Why would they be different? Like you were saying, a lot more aggressive in combat rather than defensive. You have thousands of years, so you're particularly jaded with a lot of life's wonderful bounty that is out there. You could be cynical, you could be just any of these things, but all that should inform from second one you see that character as to what they do and how they do it should make sense for who they are.
Yeah, and from a particularly an action point of view, you end up with these characters who they are. I was about to say they use the word preternatural. That their character, rather than their character type, that their characters themselves end up being preternatural in that even though the power set has been taken away, they're still unkillable. And yes, you can have a kind of main character idea of, yes, Theon's character is not going to die. She's the main character. At some point she should. Or at least you are in one sense going, she's immortal. She can't be hurt. She can't be hurt. She can be. And now
that's a natural conclusion, is her death.
And yes, and then it's like she's continuing in the same hacky, wielding her battle axe.
Yeah. This is what you get.
Yeah, you don't see her strapping on armor, or you don't see her, being the second person in the door.
Yeah,
going okay, or going. You have to be the primary now.
Yeah, it shows it's such a kind of a blinkered view of a character. That is.
Yeah,
is that. Even though aspects about that character have changed and will change how the action that character takes, the mentality hasn't changed. Even though they're aware of this massive change, like from invulnerability to vulnerability, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm just." It's like, "Oh well, I'm feeling a bit sick, but I'm not going to the doctor."
Yeah,
it's like it's only a sore stomach. It's only this massive bulge somewhere. It's like I'm not going to the doctor because this massive change in my body. I'm not going to acknowledge it as something that I have to worry about.
Yeah, so, it is. I think that a lacking of we've talked before that the idea of a writer doesn't have to apply everything they think about to a scenario. We talked before about if people can suddenly create portals, how does that affect the oil industry? You don't necessarily have to
work it all out. Yeah. You don't need oil share prices.
Exactly. Yeah. There was that reminds you of a thing. Yeah, basically, there was I was going to include in a cyberpunk thing I was writing, that I was going to include share prices at the start of every chapter, like a ticker, to show how things were going up and going down. I would have based it on Acquire, the board game, because that has 7 corporations. Anyway, but the having your core, a core feature of the character change and the character not change to it is
jarring. It's jarring.
You can say that they're being heroic, but it's like bullets don't care about your heroism.
It's been foolish.
Yeah, it is.
Your character goes from someone that you could follow and respect and kind of be there with, and kind of you're with them. You're come on, and next minute you're going, well, no, that's so stupid. Yeah, it's like you've led me astray here. I thought you were someone to respect and someone to follow as a character, but now you've just done something so egregious that I'm out. I've been pulled out of the narrative. I've been pulled out of the story because that is just stupid.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah. And it all comes down, and this all comes down to action. Like the other touchdown I wanted to mention before we finish up was the character Taskmaster from
Marvel's Taskmaster.
That she doesn't matter, watches a video of someone and can take on their abilities,
as long as it's only from that angle.
Oh shit!
Could you imagine? That's all it was. I can only I saw it from the left side on, so it's only my left side that actually copies.
Yes, but actually, you triple down on my point that their capacity, their physical capacity, is still limited. That the Taskmaster watches Steve Rogers throw his shield.
Yeah. Taskmaster.
Taskmaster. In the comics, it was a guy. In the movie, it's a she. Fuck it, doesn't matter. Can they throw the shield that way?
No.
They physically do not have the capacity.
Don't have the strength.
Yes, they don't have the strength. They don't have the dexterity. So it is a mental skill set versus a physiological ability, and it is they look at Thor. Thor
she can't spin a hammer and fly.
But even if it's just Thor's physicality of being able to step up, punch someone, I'll be able to match that, and then exactly that he can wrestle arm wrestle the Hulk. This character physically cannot.
Yeah.
So they can do it. No, but that is a misinterpretation of your own power set. This is not saying that they can't do great things.
Yeah.
But it is a case that you have to think harder about what you want to do. So
I'm sure they could do anything that someone at peak human physical performance could do. Isn't that essentially because Taskmaster is supposed to be at peak human performance level?
Yes, and perhaps even slightly beyond.
Yeah,
as you know, they're black room creators.
Yeah, but in other words, they watch a ballerina, they can do that ballet. They watch a sprinter,
they're adopting the form.
Yes,
they're adopting a skill set that comes from training.
Yeah, martial artists. Yeah, same.
Yes. That is absolutely that they can pick up a skill set, but a talent set, a knowledge set, or the physiological aspects is where they fall down. So when it talks about action, when it talks about because these are kind of two touchstones of where action has it can look great.
Mm-hmm.
There's, as you mentioned before, there's reasons for it, but in both cases they're not being applied, or I would say that they're not being applied in as I was going to say as rigorous a way, but rigor isn't
as authentic.
There's a question mark of authenticity of and I'm not saying that these writers are in any way lesser, but perhaps they allowed themselves to go, I think I'm done with
unless they're self-insert power fantasies that they're just like, yeah, I can do anything.
Absolutely, but more that they got to a point in the story and they went, I can't figure out a way around this. Fuck it.
A wizard did it.
A wizard
did it.
Yeah, it's because with the old guard, there was Tara's character is 1,000 years old, or when she loses her immortality in present day, she has lived through other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been other immortals who have come along, or actually perhaps more than 1,000 years, because Cimmerian would put her several thousand years, and there was a crusading knight and a Muslim assassin who were lovers, which was a nice pair, who were both immortals together, and that would make them at least a couple hundred years old together. So, but there was others who worked with, and had passed on because their immortality had timed out. So it's not a time thing. So it's I would love to know the reason for it, or if they went, fuck it.
That's season 3's problem.
Let's
hope not.
Or what, film 3? Because I don't know how they got a second movie, but I guess they made enough money.
So I think we would love to continue, but there is a wizard who is currently trying to shut us down from outside.
Yes,
we're dodging fireballs right now.
Yes, end scene.
End scene. And put the fires out. All right, all the best. Thanks again, Al.
Until next time, sir.
Until next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Fictional Problems in association with Speculative Fiction Ireland. On the next episode, we'll be talking about bad story ideas. We'll be talking about J.R.R. Tolkien's sequel to The Lord of the Rings, and the 2017 movie Bright by David Ayer. Join us.